When you start your AMC clinical preparation, I think the most confusing part is what to do for the exam, whether you should start with the role plays, what books to read, which courses to join, or whether it is important to join the courses or not, when to do the workshops, and so on. So in this video, I'll try to briefly explain 3 phases of preparation for AMC clinical. I call this lifestyle modification, or LSM. But here, LSM actually stands for learning, sharpening, and mastering. So let me explain what I mean by that. The learning phase is the first phase of preparation, and during this phase, your only intention is to get familiar with the exam structure. So for this, you can join any courses which can prepare you with the basics of the exam techniques, which means how to do history taking, different mnemonics used for history taking, for example, 5 P's or SADMA, and so on. You learn about the physical examinations of different regions, different anatomical regions and systems, or you learn about the different counseling techniques and so on. So in this stage, if you don't know anything about the exam, or it's been a long time since you last read anything about medicine actively, you don't need to worry much, because in this phase, your only intention is to get familiar with the exam structure and to know how this exam works, what are the important points for the exam, what are the important topics for the exam, and so on. The second phase of preparation is what I call the sharpening phase, because in this phase, you already know the things expected from you. Now you do a little bit of gap analysis. You try to find out where you are good and where you are weak, so that you can work on those areas where you are weak and you can consolidate the areas where you are already strong. You do a lot of reading at this stage. You read a lot of books, you watch videos, you go to different references, you make sure that you have all the required knowledge and skills for this exam. So during this phase, your only intention is to make sure that you have the confidence to deal with the problems that you'll get in the exam. And in this stage, it's a good idea to join workshops or revision courses, because this is the time for you to gain additional perspectives about different things, to discuss with people about how they do their things, or to join different discussion groups on Telegram or Facebook and learn about the different methods people have been using to speak with people who have already been successful. You are ready at this stage to acquire these additional skills and aid to your fundamental skills you learned during the learning phase. The last and the most important phase of your preparation will be the mastering phase. This is the phase where you should start role plays. I always tell people that don't do role plays at the beginning, because when you are doing role plays, you're not simply telling other people what you would do in the exam or how you'd solve the problem, or you are not simply listening to other people how they are doing the things. At this stage, you should have the critical skills required to analyze the performance and do the critical appraisal of your performance and your role player's performance. And you cannot do that unless you have the required knowledge, unless you know how the exam works and what are the key points. So during this phase, you will be working on your timing, you will be working on your communication skills, you will be working on all those soft skills like empathy, or elaborating the points, or speaking like the layman's too, and so on. So at this phase, you find a role player who complements your skills, who can tell you the things honestly, and who can identify your weak areas or the areas where you need to work on. So the 3 phases of preparation, for me at least, are: first, get familiar with the exam, gather the materials, join a basic course. Second, work on whatever you have learned, make sure you are confident, you have the required knowledge and skills, and do your gap analysis. And third phase is get a partner who can complement you and start practicing, give critical appraisal to your partner, expect the same thing from your partner too. So this is how I think you can prepare for AMC clinical. If you have any questions about what I have mentioned here, or if you want me to explain any point in more detail, please let me know and I'll be happy to do that. If you haven't already joined our Facebook group or Telegram group, you can do so by going to the links given in the description. All the best for your preparation.